This American administration really doesn't like us. Doesn't much like Europe, doesn't much like Britain, and very much doesn't like London. Yesterday I was discussing the new US policy document, which talks about immigration and political censorship causing the erasure of European civilization. And a distinguished former American diplomat pointed out to me that Trump hadn't actually said this himself. And Emily Thornberry, chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, also told me yesterday she didn't believe this kind of attack until it actually came out of Donald Trump's mouth. Well, guys, it has now. In a new interview, he's described Europe as a decaying group of countries led by weak people and said that without changes to their borders, some European states will not be viable countries any longer. And if you think that is strong stuff, here he is on Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London.
If you take a look at London, you have a mayor named Khan. He's a horrible mayor. He's an incompetent mayor, but he's a horrible, vicious, disgusting mayor. I think he's done a terrible job. London's a different place. I love London. I love London. And I hate to see it happen. You know, my roots are in Europe, as you know.
Right.
And I hate to see that happen. This is one of the great places in the world, and they're allowing people just to come in and unchecked, unvetted.
Now, just consider for a moment the irony of the President of the United States, a country entirely founded on immigration, which in recent years as well has derived such a lot of its energy and its push and its creativity from waves of migrants attacking Europe for letting migrants in. It's as if whatever country it was that invented woke, name escapes me, was attacking Britain for woke. As if the country that brought us social media to enrage and divide us now complains we aren't more harmonious. But famously, the Americans don't get irony, so let's move on. And yes, by the way, I think the speed and quantity of current immigration here is too much. And yes, I also think we have to get control of our borders. I just kind of resent being lectured by a country with such race and culture war problems of its own. Did I say race? Well, let's put it this way. I don't think when Trump talks about Europe decaying because of immigration, he's thinking about immigrants from Australia or Canada, or for that matter, the US itself. It's time to stand up for who we really are. Not perfect, but I would 100 times more rather live in London than in pious, monotonous New York or dank, self-satisfied Imperial Washington. And here, from dank, satisfied Imperial Washington, for a full summary of the latest set of twists and turns from the White House, LBC's Washington correspondent Simon Mark. Simon, I wasn't trying to be rude to you. We should take this very seriously, should we not?
We should take this extremely seriously, Andrew. There is no question about that at all. I think the publication of that national security strategy last Friday was a clarion call, a warning to Europe that the Transatlantic Alliance, as we have known it, as the world has known it for the last 80 years, is coming to an end. And with respect to your guests yesterday, including Emily Thornberry, well, they can now hear it directly from Donald Trump. He is endorsing that strategy in a full-throated way today in that interview with Politico. And it's absolutely apparent that he believes that Europe is decaying and falling apart as a result of inward flows of immigration, that he believes that those flows of immigration are already completely changing the character of Europe. He argues in that interview it gets to a point where you can't really correct it, and it is very close to that point. And if you go back to the national security strategy that came out on Friday, what Donald Trump and his senior lieutenants are arguing is that so many people, particularly of the Islamic faith, are moving into Europe's borders. It's going to lead to civilizational collapse within the continent. And they argue that the majority populations within a few years will be non-European, and that those non-European majority populations will want to have absolutely no truck with NATO. They don't explain why those populations might not be interested in NATO's mutual self-defense covenants, but it is a clear indicator that Donald Trump wants to pull the rug out from beneath the transatlantic alliance. And the Prime Minister and other European leaders are going to have to get used to this new reality, this continuing effort to try and flatter Donald Trump is now reaching the end of the road, because Donald Trump's approach to Europe is not just that he views the continent as decaying and them as weak, but that he is actively proposing to endorse political candidates from what he refers to as patriotic political parties. And let's be honest, he doesn't think Labour or the Conservatives even are patriotic parties. He's talking in Britain about Nigel Farage and Reform UK. He's told Politico today he is going to continue endorsing candidates of his choice in European elections. This is a man poised directly to interfere with Britain's democracy.